Welcome to Fated, a podcast brought to you by Majella and Carlie, two romantasy-obsessed readers who believe that great books must include declarations of undying love and deep thrusts of desire. Diving into the spicy, smutty fantasy genre, we are here for both the rattling of stars and headboards, and our podcast starts with the worlds of SJM, but delves into other realms. Did we mention that washboard abs and wands of all kinds are welcome in this inclusive and magically charged space? No topic is off limits, and no one is forced to have only one favourite heroine. Welcome to Fated, where we are unabashedly and wholeheartedly hot and heavy for spicy fantasy fiction. It's time to sit down and smut up. Warning, spoilers ahead. Hi, I'm Majella.
And I'm Carlie, and we have just been chatting about our dream places and spaces to read, nooks and nooks and snacks and bookcases and
shelves.
Shelves and comfy chairs and all the things. And so we're just hitting record and we're just going to share the conversation with you basically. Because Majella posed this week and I was like, I don't know what my dream reading space is. So I'm going to keep thinking on that because you seem to have some ideas. So maybe you could dive in and share.
Yes, I do have many ideas. That's right. But before we begin, what are you reading?
Kingdom of Ash still. No, I'm reading Kingdom of Ash.
It's okay. You don't have to justify. It's a big book. I think that you could be reading that for 6 months and you wouldn't have to justify how long it's taking you. You're like, I am reading this epic book that I will not rush through or hurry because it is so deliciously, you can't rush that, So you're reading Kingdom of Ash and
questioning everything at the moment, but I am reading.
You're crying a lot.
Mm-hmm. And that is all I'm reading because I normally have an audiobook on as well, but I've run out of listening moments, listening minutes in my subscription to Spotify. So I think that the universe has done that to create more space for me to just stay with Aylin. So that's where I'm at. What about you? What are you reading right now?
I'm rereading Kingdom of Ash so that I'm ready to talk about the last few books in that series when we break them down. And I'm also reading a book by a local author called H.M. Hodgson, which I talked about in the previous episode, because I'm going to go see her speak tomorrow with another author that I really like, Stacey McEwen. And it's called Relic of Magic and Gold, and it's about witches, and it's based in Brisbane and West End. And as I said before, it is slightly unsettling to read about streets that I know and there's witches on it. And I think it is almost worse because it's like, well, why aren't there witches in West End?
Maybe you're the witch.
We're actually in spin class the other day. My spin teacher called me a witch as a compliment, but she was like, she said something because I think there was I don't know, she was talking about, she has chats in the middle of spin class while we're all sweating and panting and stuff. She's like, she philosophizes, she muses about life, and that's why I love her classes. But she said something like, I don't know, it was so out of the blue, but she's like, well, Majella's a witch, and she's here. And I was just kind of like, it almost sounded like an insult, but I knew it wasn't because she's quite, we're both into, she's into romantasy books, it was a compliment. It was like, she was saying I fit in with Manon. Maybe I've got a little bit of the witch's blood, like a lead, A lead.
So
she's
maybe it's you. Maybe there is a coven of witches somewhere in West End and you will stumble upon them one day. Fun. Witches.
I'm ready.
You do like witches. Great.
So that's what I'm reading. And yes, bookshelves and where to read. So I thought we could divide that up into two topics because I feel like on my TikTok For You page, I have a lot of people sort of talking about theories and a lot of people reviewing books. But then I have obviously kind of liked a few videos and I've stumbled on people doing bookshelf renovations and home library projects. And then there's the whole kind of inspirational montages where people kind of put all these photos of the most amazing libraries in the world together. So you're just kind of like, and also mythical libraries, like how people imagine, the library that's in the House of Wind in that in the house that Nesta ends up getting from Reese. So it's got that library in the bottom of where all the priestesses live. And so there's all these, images of that. But I think that it's kind of amazing to see all that and then try and imagine because people are so ingenious. And also there's lots of people who bring that aspect of magic in a real way into their sort of reading experience and into their bookshelf experience. So I was telling Carlie before, I was like, because she's like, oh, I have no idea. And I was like, okay, well, mine would be, I would have floor to ceiling bookshelves. Like they would just be like as high as as high, maybe I'd even extend the ceilings so that I had this was sort of dream scenario where there's no budgets and like I could do things, but like floor to ceiling bookshelves. And then I would have one of those rolling ladders so that you could climb up to the 14th shelf, and then you could like push yourself along and and you'd have a dress on, and it would like swoosh out behind you, and it'd probably have a corset. And maybe you'd be even holding like a little candle on one of those little like holders, and you'd like swoosh along, and conveniently it would be recorded and you could post it later because it would just look so great. But I would have that, and then and in amongst all the books I would have some art, and I would have little like interesting trinkets. And then in some of those books, they would actually be fake books, and inside would be like locked boxes. So you'd have these books that are actually like mini like safes, so that like there's like your preciousness is saved and kind of secure within the books. And then I would have, that would be a secret room, and it would have like a window nook that was super squishy and comfy, and it would have like a built-in shelf where I could put my like hot chocolate or my wine or my coffee, and I would see out, and ideally I would be looking at snow-capped mountains. But I will take any kind of nature view, but that would be kind of what the space, my home library would be. Mm-hmm. But to get into that, it would be a hidden door. So like out, like on the other side of the wall, there would just be a normal looking bookshelf that would be very pretty. And you would pull a book down, and then that whole bookshelf would swing in like a fake door. And then you would walk into this magical space, and there would be like stars on the ceiling, and it would just feel like you walked into another room, like another realm. So that's what I would do for my bookshelf kind of vibes at home. Does that give you any ideas?
Is that all? Like that? Are you sure that's all? Is that all you would do?
Well, I want to talk about like what I would like where I would like to read, but I think that's like, that's the next portion of the discussion. So I want to hear, how would you like to see your books displayed?
At this point in my life, I'm really just quite happy with my bookshelf here. Because if you looked that way, I'm pointing, no one's watching the video, but like to my left, you would see children's crap everywhere. So maybe a separate room, a little library / creative den. It is interesting. I was actually having this vision. There's an account on TikTok where she's built herself a little library outside. And I was thinking, well, I'm on acreage. I've got land, maybe like a little tiny home just up the back of the block where I'm the only one with the key, only person with the key. Unless Majella visited, she could have the key for a bit too. But very select few people going in that room. And in her TikToks, she walks out there in like rain, hail, shine with her cup of coffee or tea, and it's colourful and glorious and looks so cozy. And I'm like, maybe I could create something like that. Maybe that could be a dream.
I follow her. She's amazing. Oh, yes, I could totally see that for you, but a bit more Australiana, like
Australiana. My chickens would be pecking around the outside. It's under the gum trees, and maybe like okay, maybe like little lofts. Like, so I go in, my books are all down the bottom, but then there's a little ladder up to a little loft with a beautiful window where I can see the clouds and the trees and the stars at night, and I can read up there and just feel like I'm hidden away. Maybe that would be fun.
Yes, and you could have a little front deck with like a, like a little patio kind of thing, so you can sit out. Maybe you could have a hammock or one of those
I
like
mean,
big scoopy chairs.
yes, one of
You
those big
sit
egg
there,
chairs.
feel the breeze.
Listen to the birds, because I do right now love to sit on my back deck at twilight, and I love the light that hits the trees, and I love hearing the birds going off to bed. So that could be like just a step, like that could be within my reach. But the reality of right now is also, just for me, not reading in my car at cricket training would be amazing. Not reading at my kitchen bench whilst cooking, because they're the times I have to read. Oh, you've got me dreaming now. My husband's a builder. I'm going to have a long list now. I'll be like, I need a tiny
Yes.
home.
Oh my God, this is great. This is meant to be aspirational. This is not like practical reading. Like,
I know.
yes, you read in the kitchen, but ideally you would be reading on like a fluffy king size bed that has like, that motorized
that's been
that
made.
like,
that would be great. Yep. Do you know what? I actually even have you seen those glasses that when you're laying flat reflect down so you can read whilst laying flat on your back, you don't get a crick in your neck? Have you seen them? They're like on my wish list.
I have, but I didn't.
My friend sent them to me as a joke, and I'm like, I actually really want them. They look very, very helpful. Or the Kindle arm, where you've just got a little remote control, so you can be like a burrito in bed and you're just turning the pages on your Kindle. Have you seen them?
Yes, I've seen that also. Yes, definitely. And then there's all these like haters on those posts being like, oh my God, like just use your arm. Like, how lazy can you be? Like, this is ridiculous. And I'm just like, yeah, but like if you are reading for hours and hours every day and you only are doing all these other things, or you're just really tired at night or you get cold hands, like some people get really cold hands and feet, like you don't want to read it with gloves on.
But also, do those people use remotes for their TV, or do they get up and change the channel like we used to in the 90s? Of course they use a remote for their TV.
It's a very good point. Is it like, book purists who are like, they don't even like the Kindle concept, and they're like, well, it should always be paper anyway. So then I could kind of understand, because, that doesn't fit in with their kind of worldview of how books should be consumed. But if it's just people being like, you're lazy, I'm just like, yeah, the remote control point is an excellent one, because guaranteed they're not getting up to manually change the channel.
Mate, and some of those books are heavy and you're 1,300 pages in, you don't want to get RSI. Anyway, the other account that I'm really drawn to now, you've got me thinking, is I think it's actually on Instagram. I might actually even try and find it. It's like where to read. Let me look it up and then I'll cut this bit out. Where?
Like it tells you places you can read and shows like all these epic places, or like it's where they read.
There's one called Where I Would Like to Read. It's got 211,000 followers and just puts up nooks and different places to read. And some of them I'm really drawn to. And the ones I'm really drawn to, I picture, are big windows and rain. Like my favorite probably time to read is in the cooler weather, snuggled up with rain on the roof. That's just like an absolute dream to me. And my home does have big windows, and sometimes I read on the couch and I can see the full moon and see the rain, and sometimes there's lightning storms, and that's fun too. So yeah.
And it does get cold, I was just saying, because when we do our first reading retreat, I said, Carlie, we're going to have to come down to your neck of the woods, lucky for you, and we're going to go in a cabin in the mountains somewhere. Ideally, I would like snow, but if we can't get snow, I'll just take the coldest temperatures we can find, so it feels really remote and rustic, and like you're sort of safe from the elements inside this house. And then like once a day, we'll go on like a reading walk, and we'll all like rug up in our boots and our puffer jackets, and we will go, because you have to stay fit. You have to stay fit to read. You have to get the blood flow happening. You know, you need to move that stuck energy from all the emotions that you're not processing because you're still in the middle of the book. So we go for this reading walk. We walk through the snow and we commune with nature and we come back to ourselves. And then we get back inside and, you know, it's that feeling of like, oh my God, my face is cold. I'm going to make a hot like coffee or a chocolate, and then I'm going to find my nook and I'm just going to, it's that the contrast of extremes, which I love. You know, you're out, it's wild, it's exposed, you're braving the elements, and then you come inside and you're just like, and now here are my glasses so I don't have to move my head, and here's my Kindle holder so I don't have to, and here's my burrito doona so that I am warm and toasty. Like, I think that this is what the reading retreat will be. I've got so many ideas because I love running events and I love curating experiences. So I feel like Carlie's super excited about the book club, which is great. Me too. But I am like just using the book club as like the gateway to the reading. I'm just like, yeah, join the book club so that we can all go and read in the snow, and I will like make you a gift pack of like your ideal snacks. Like when you arrive, there'll be like Sarah's pack, Carlie's pack, you know, like Kate's pack, and you know, Sarah will have cheese and crackers and red wine and, you know, like cherry chocolate, and Carlie will have like, you know, champagne and whiskey for when she wants to be depressed, and, you know, like salted caramel popcorn and whatever else she loves, you know, so everyone gets their little curated pack of snacks. So I think that in terms of like ideal climates, I do feel like the extreme cold feels like it is the perfect reading environment. Like you want to be inside. Because up here, like I live at the sunny coast, so there's not a lot of cocooning. You know, there's a lot of like heat and oceans, and I don't. I mean, I do, but it's not like I definitely love reading outside in the sun. So usually I read outside in the sun next to the pool for kind of like 15 or 20 minutes. But it is interesting because I will not read the most heart-wrenching, emotional, like I wouldn't read Kingdom of Ash out there. It's like it feels like it's too full of life. Like if I'm outside and I'm like, it's hot and I'm by a pool, it doesn't feel like the right environment to be reading about torture scenes or like breaking a blood oath or, you know, like getting an army together to kill the Valg. Like it's wrong. Like that's why I feel like those kind of like lighthearted romances seem to suit that more. I don't know. It's like it's too up. Like it's just like sunlight. Like it's all too full of joy or happiness. Yeah, right. Like, and I don't want to have that experience be so discordant with what's happening internally. Like I don't want to be like sobbing and being like, oh my God, this is and then I'm just like, but look around me, palm trees, blue skies, you know, beautiful water. I don't know, it feels wrong. I think
that's why there's sort of that genre or that category of like holiday beach reads, and they are usually quite light and fluffy and fun and easy and fast paced. I've never seen Throne of Glass on one of those lists. So you are so sensitive to your environment though as well. I love that. And aware. And yeah, like we have a wood fire here. Obviously it gets very cold here in winter. Not as cold as places obviously like Alaska and Canada and places where maybe some of our audience are listening from. We had someone I noticed from Romania listening recently. It gets chilly. And we have the Hi. We need to learn how to say hello in Romanian. I love having the fire on in winter, snuggled up in front of that with a bowl of soup or a hot cocoa. And yeah, that does make me feel very, very cozy and ready to dive into these worlds. What are your snacks? What are you taking into these spaces with you?
Look, I know you said you don't discuss this.
But what about beverages?
I'm not a snacker. I'm not a book snacker. But this is what's funny is I used to be like a chocolate. It was almost like I got so used to eating chocolate and reading books, like when I was kind of heavily in the sort of Harry Potter. That kind of, I guess, when I was in a teenage early 20s, it was definitely like a self-soothing practice. Like that's what I would do. I'd feel a bit stressed or anxious or whatever. I'd go read a book, and it would be like, it. You know how if you sit on the couch, it's almost like compulsively you turn on the TV because it's kind of like the couch has become synonymous with the TV watching. So I used to be like a chocolate and books thing because I love chocolate, but I don't know if it's this genre, but I don't snack and eat anymore. Like I don't know if it's just that it's too emotional or heart wrenching, or it's I'm getting enough from the book that I don't also need another sensory input. I'm just like, it's just the book. I don't want to snack. It seems really odd to me. Like I will snack while talking about it later. There's just no way. Like there's no way I could have read Kingdom of Ash and eaten anything. Probably the last half of that. The language is intense. The visuals are intense. Like they're also going through awful things, and I don't want to be sitting here like stuffing my face while they're fighting wars and rescuing people and like battling demon possession. Like,
So funny.
it just feels wrong. It feels like I am not in solidarity with them. Like, how dare I? Like, hey guys, like keep going. Like, you're doing great work there. Keep gutting those people. And I'm just gonna like eat some more snacks. I want to say that I could drink coffee and hot chocolates, I think, and tea. I could definitely, when it gets colder, I could definitely do that and read. And before we were just kind of talking about like, I would not drink. People often are like, yeah, let's have a wine and read. And I just was explaining to Carlie that I don't need anything to give me a buzz or to dull my buzz or to take the edge off. Like I want to be on the edge when I'm reading this. Like I want everything to be sharpened and in 1000% focus.
What about a little, edible?
I can't do them. I hate feeling out of control.
I was going to say that would just put you into another stratosphere of I live in this realm. I am this character. Do you not understand, Relic?
I would actually probably. That's right. I would start sounding like unhinged, probably. Like just like that would not be good for any of us. The only one I feel like I might consider is whiskey on the rocks. Like when it's really like that's kind of like a dark drink and it like
dark and stormy.
And, and I guess it sounds cool. I like the idea of it. I like the visual of it. Should I also have a cigar? Like that's what I think. I'm just like, and then could I be in like a smoking jacket but dress, a winged eyeliner?
You're so
I don't know. But in the end, no. In the end, it's a no. It's a no. I don't want it. I don't want wine. I don't want whiskey. The hardest drink I will have is a fully caffeinated coffee, and that's it.
Hardcore, man. Hardcore.
What about you?
I am more of a beverage. Yeah, so I'll have a coffee at night. I mainly read at night for my sort of solid reading hour or hour and a half. And I will often have a hot chocolate. I'll take a hot chocolate to bed usually a hot chocolate. My kids have got me onto Ovaltine, which I haven't had since I was a kid. And I've been having Ovaltine lately with the magnesium added into it. It's called Sleepy Ovaltine. And so I'll sit in bed and sip that, or a tea, maybe a peppermint tea or something like that. But yeah, I don't snack while I read either. And I was saying to you, like, actually because I read more physical books than Kindle books, just holding it, not getting food on it. It's too much. It's too much. When I read at a cafe, I do sometimes go and read at cafes, treat myself. But again, I'll usually just have a coffee or I'll eat and then I'll read, but not at the same time. But if I had to choose a snack, it'd probably be like popcorn or some chippies, something crunchy.
Really? And salty.
Salty, yeah. But no, I'm not but I do see people on TikTok like, these are my book snacks. I'm like, yeah. I don't know, maybe just because I'm also hurried. Like life is hurried. I don't have time to sit down and make a snack and, like I just don't have that spaciousness in my day. It's like, oh my God, I've got 10 minutes to read. I'm just reading. I'm not like, oh, what do I feel like eating and drinking? So yeah, mainly beverages for me, and I don't drink a lot of alcohol. So
Let's put this up as a poll and then let's discuss it in our book club, because I feel like I want to know if people are snack readers, or no stimulus readers, like nothing, some snacks, some drinks, or everything. Because there's definitely some people on TikTok that are like, it's a whole routine, like it's a ritual.
Yes.
Like they get their snacks, they've got their drink, like it might be like they've got their cup holder or their big sippy cup and it's got their favorite thing, and they've got like a little smorgasbord, or there's actual like trays where it's got like compartments for all the, where nothing like tips over on the bed or whatever. And I'm just like,
you know what? I wouldn't be against it if someone else prepared it. Let's say that. Maybe that's why I'm not.
Really? So,
well,
it's a time thing. It's a time and energy thing for you. Okay.
I mean, if I'm laying there or sitting on the couch reading, and someone says, "Here's an array of snacks," and they're just delivered to me, I'm not saying no.
Really? I would say no. I'd be like, no. Because I don't want it to, like, how can I, like, the sound of the chewing would detract from the reading experience. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a shame thing where I feel like, why should I be eating and enjoying myself when these characters are suffering? Really.
Oh, babe. They'd want you to be enjoying your life. They'd want you to be living your life. I think, no one ever prepares me food. So I think if someone did that, I'd be like, sure, I will eat the chocolate and the popcorn and the chips and all the things.
You are getting the first snack platter at the reading group, Carlie. What will be the biggest and most exciting?
Sign
You just get one every hour. Here is another snack platter. Here until you're like, no more. I'm snacked out.
You have to roll me home, because I will be sure. Keep bringing it. But no, look, daily
that's why we have the reading walk.
We have to have our reading. We have to move. We have to. But yeah, I think for me it is beverages. I've usually got a beverage nearby, and I will sip that. But yeah, I don't have time to make snacks. I just have to. It's taking the opportunity to read is just that's enough. I've got to take that opportunity to read. But yes, fun. I'm going to send you
a great world that we've almost created.
I'm going to send you a TikTok.
The home library. Yes.
Oh, well, I'm going to send you this TikTok that I'm seeing of not everyone, this woman who built the ladder. What do you call it? The ladder on wheels.
Yes, and they've done rolling ladder, and she wears the dresses.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It keeps getting stuck when she tries to roll, and it squeaks, and it's just like it's not as lovely and romantic looking as you imagine in your head. It's hilarious. Cool.
And I'll send you the one of the girl that I follow who literally romanticizes it. And she built it herself, and she shows the whole process. But then she now just does videos where she's wearing like different ball gowns on the ladder. It's just so incredible. I'm just like, now she's being sponsored by dress companies to send her more dresses. I'm just like, she has like hit the jackpot here.
I can totally see you
Books
doing
and ball gowns. Books and ball gowns. Oh my God, that could be an event we do. Books and ball gowns. Because why shouldn't we dress up?
Add it to the list.
Why should we dress up?
Add it to the Google Drive.
Great.
Okay. We'll get around to it. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll go back to reading at my kitchen bench today, and on my couch surrounded by Lego and dirty socks. And I will dream about my little escape room out the back being built at some point.
That's right. You won't even notice what's going on around you at the point of the book you're reading, so don't worry about it. You will have like disconnected from anything around you.
Yeah. My children are fending for themselves at the moment, so Mummy has a book to read. Go away. All right. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Ciao.
You too. Ciao.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you felt like you were eavesdropping on a conversation that you have been dying to have with someone to discuss all the tiny details and possible plot twists of the books that you've recently read. Perhaps you don't have someone to chat to after you finish one of those epic books, so please give the show a follow and we would be honoured to be your book-obsessed friends. But mostly though, we hope it was fun, it gave you a giggle, it made you gasp or encouraged you to pick up a different author. Please share it with someone who you think would also love it and drop us a review, letting us know what you loved and what you want to hear from us in the future. We will be back with another episode soon. Happy reading.